okay? Oh. So we're a very different spiritual center here. So we'd like to remind you that we're different, okay? Just so you know you're in the right place. The Center of Universal Light is a unique, independent, interspiritual community where we celebrate life in Mother Earth in an authentic, honest, and open spiritual environment. With a rich blend of wisdom, practices, music, message, and mantras, we are creating a space for people walking their own spiritual path to experience a mystical union of oneness through thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, because if you're looking for doctrine, I got nothing for you. We are creating our own as we walk this life path. So in creating this space, we're empowering and giving permission to each other to follow whatever spiritual path is right for you right now. I don't know about you, but I've been on many paths over my lifetime, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But that's just me, and I know I'm weird. So, anybody else in this group? Yeah. So it's been an exciting week. Well, isn't life just kind of exciting, you know? I don't think we've not had an exciting week since we've been here. But it's all been good. First of all, we moved into our permanent RV space. Isn't that exciting? We have been on the waiting list for 1 year as of April. Who knew? Who knew? Then I started taking art classes. Now, keeping in mind I'm very left-brained. We all know that. I've told you that. I'm analytical. That's just me. So I'm taking a right brain type class from Jim Joseph, also known as J. Joseph Menzel, fabulous artist. And I'm going to put up one of my charcoal drawings on Facebook, on my page. So if you want to see how it's progressed from day 1 to the end of the 6-week class, you'll be able to compare. I'm pretty excited about it. Because it is not easy getting out of that left brain. You know, I think, oh yes, I'm very creative. Not. So, he's helping me immensely, and Norma is a wonderful helpmate for him. Wednesday, we had our first community drum circle. Who went? Yeah. Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I didn't ask this person if I could share her quote, but I'm just not going to say her name because what she said was fabulous. I attended last Wednesday's drum circle. It was awesome. Somehow Arvel took drumming chaos and turned us into drummers, chanting a beautiful Lakota song. The drum jam at the end was the perfect ending. However, I never wanted it to end. Thank you, Arvel and Sandra. Where's Sandra? There's Sandra. For creating this group. So unless I get permission, I won't say who her name is, but thank you very much. That was exactly what we wanted. So we're going to be having another drum circle in 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks from Wednesday. So check the website, check your bulletin. All right? And we'll make sure that everybody gets the word out. And if you know somebody that doesn't get the internet, let them know. Last night I came to the Blues Festival. Yeah. What? I'm still deaf. I'm still deaf. But I really enjoyed myself, but I was chewing gum last night. Have you ever, I don't know, do you ever get chewing gum? Well, I bit my lip. I got a little carried away, and it was great fun. I was helping William with the sound, and it was really big. And then yesterday, before all that, I was working on the program and the list and all that stuff, and all of a sudden I just thought, I'm going to turn on the radio and listen to some news. And I don't do that. But this cacophony of sound was coming out of the speakers, and all of a sudden I focused in on somebody that was at the microphone. It was the teenagers in D.C.
Yes.
So I got on the internet, because now we have high-speed internet because we're not traveling all the time. And I went to the news channel, and there was this sea of teenagers, and I'm sure parents were in there too. I was so overwhelmed. And no politics in here. But because I was so overwhelmed with the fact that that many teenagers, not just in D.C., but all across the country were so united in a cause. It kind of reminded me of the Vietnam rallies that we had. I don't like to say protests, but the rallies. Because when you rally for something, it doesn't matter what you are for. Because you just need to be for something, not against something. But it reminded me of that passion and energy. And it gave me so much hope for the future that this 11-year-old child could stand in front of a freaking microphone with all those millions of people, not only the ones that were there, but listening and be articulate, to be passionate, and to be very concise with what her message was. And again, it's not the message. Yes, I mean, it is to some people, but my point was that they were so involved, and they knew. The thing that got me was that they knew, every one of them knew that they have the power right now.
Yes.
And in layman's terms, they got them by the short hairs. They do, because they're 1 year and less away from voting, down to 10 years maybe away from voting. And that is trouble or good for whoever is running things. And I think the changes that these kids are going to make, just based on what I saw yesterday, is going to be remarkable. And I didn't think that not too long ago. So I'm very, very excited about that. Anyway, that's my little thing. So we're going to get started now. And I'm going to ask Sandra to give us the, to call in the energies for us. Let's get us all centered and into the energies.
And we thank you, Spirit of East, the beautiful energies of spring, of new emergence, of the vibrant energies of the rising sun, that promise of new beginnings, and that beautiful purity, that morning energy. We thank you. We call in the Spirit of the East. We call in the Spirit of the South. We thank you now for the energies of the growing season, of the peak of summer.
All that I am, in the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am. In the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am. In the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am. In the land of I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am. In the land of I am, all that I have been, I am, all that I will be, I am, all that I am.
Well, today is a special day, Palm Sunday. And the message today is hope. In full awareness and in infinite love, I embrace hope. I am familiar with that fluttering sensation within me that tells me that something wonderful is waiting to express. Hope is the thing with feathers, according to the poet Emily Dickinson, that perches in the soul. Hope is my expectation that Spirit is at work in my life. I may not know how it will express, but I wait in excited anticipation. Palm Sunday is a thing with feathers, a time of awareness that a magnificent new dimension of spiritual expression is about to take place. The process may be chaotic and painful, but the hope perching in my soul knows that the next step on my spiritual journey is at hand. In full awareness and in infinite love, I embrace hope. And from the words from Job 11:18. And you will have confidence because there is hope. You will be protected and take your test in safety. Or rest, I should say. In safety. The message today is hope.
April. And so I've actually for years wanted to put this poem really to song, so I did. But I didn't know this is what Kimberly was choosing until I got here. So let's see if I can still remember it. Benedicto. May your trails be crooked and winding, lonesome and dangerous, leading to the most amazing views.
This is a treat. This is an honor. Thank you for asking me to do this. If you will all take everything off your mat, take a nice deep breath, relax your palms, maybe face up on top of your thighs. Being open, all right? Take a deep breath, another deep breath, and let it go. Relax the shoulders. Another deep breath.
So, I have a few questions for you today. Have any of you been having different kind of feelings that take you up and then bring you down? And then take you up and then bring you down? Lately? Raise your hands. Yeah, okay. Have any of you had like these physical things that maybe you had years ago and all of a sudden, why is that back? I dealt with that. Or a new physical thing coming on that you don't know, just came out of nowhere. How many people have had that happen? Yeah. And how many people have had their belief systems challenged? And kind of looking at what you were taught and questioning it, and how does that work in my life? And am I changing the way I feel about these things? Has anybody had these mental things going on about their belief systems? Yeah. Well, welcome to the shift. You're in the middle of it. And do you know who's responsible for the shift? You are. You are. You are. You are, and I am, and everybody in this whole world are responsible for the shift. Because on December 21st, 2012, something happened. Did anybody feel anything that happened?
Yes.
Some of us felt it, some of us didn't. Some of us saw things, some of us didn't. But what happened was monumental. Because for 4 different civilizations on this planet never made it back, never made it past the aspect of the symbol of the 2012. We're the 5th civilization, and we made it. And look at what we're creating. It looks a little like a mess, doesn't it? Sometimes it does. Because we're shifting something. Does anybody know what that is? There's one word that tells us what we're shifting.
Dimension. Energy.
Okay, dimensions, definitely.
Energy.
Energies. Consciousness, and that is the big word. We have shifted our consciousness to another level. And we're trying to figure out how to do that in the physical world. The physical world is energy. Oh, I don't know if you have my picture in the background. But anyway, the physical world is energy. So, we are connected to everything in this universe. We're connected to everybody in this room. We're connected to the chair you're sitting on, because that's energy also. So, if consciousness is the thing that we are elevating at this time, the struggles that you're having is being able to see what is the gift in all of the things that are happening. Now, I'm wearing an owl feather. What does an owl do? An owl flies, and in the night, it can see through the darkness, which could be our physical ailments, could be our mental questioning, could be anything that we're going through, and it finds the nurturing thing that it needs through that darkness. But it goes and it flies through the darkness to find that. And that's what we're doing right now on this planet, every single one of us. And it can be quite confusing, depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to people like in this room, they say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I found this out. And I found that out. And I'm discovering this. And I find that if I do it this way, it works. What you're doing is you're having a dance with energy. You have placed yourself in communication, in relationship with the energetic world that we have. So we're not solving problems from the same place of thinking, as Einstein said, that we created our problems. We're finding another way of doing it. And that, on this planet, is the first time humanity has done this. They're stepping out of the paradigm of thought forms that they created. And in that process of recreating, we can feel lost. Okay? But there's something that we can do to connect and reconnect, constantly reconnect with our soul purpose. But I want to give you an example of the level of consciousness. And a lot of you might have experienced this, okay? How many people know what upstate New York looks like? Yes, it has trees. Everybody, when I say I'm from New York, they say, oh, you live with cement. I go, no. Okay, so I'm in upstate New York. I'm in a little cabin in the middle of 40 acres of woods, and there's all these other woods around, little cabins, right? I'm there with my husband, my father-in-law, my 3 kids, a dog, and 4 cats. We're there for about a month or so. Okay. So anyway, the oldest two kids, they're playing nicely, and of course the third one is becoming a little obnoxious. It happens. So anyway, so Ryan and I go out walking in the woods, and the neighbor had cleared some of the woods, and he had cut down some of these trees. But there was still a lot of forest. So Ryan and I are going through the forest, and we're looking around to see what's going on new in the neighborhood, you know? So anyway, I find this beautiful piece of wood, circular piece of wood. It looks like a piece of pie with one slice cut out. It was so unique. So I said, hey, Ryan, look at this. He goes, oh, I'd like to keep that one. And he puts it in his hand. He goes, I'm going to hold on to that. So anyway, we're walking through the woods, and he's tossing little pieces of woods and rocks and pitching, because he was a pitcher. He loved to throw things. And he's just pitching things, right? And then all of a sudden he goes, oh no! I said, what happened? What's the matter? I pitched that piece of wood I wanted to keep. I said, okay, well, where is it? We'll find it. And he points to this pile, branches about this thick, 4 feet long, 3.5 feet high, and about 2.5 feet wide. He said, it went in there, Mom. Okay. And I say to myself, because when I talk to myself, I'm really talking to spirit. And I said, how am I going to find that? Show me how to find it. And in that moment, I found myself backing up and sitting down on a tree stump behind me. And I closed my eyes, and I visualized that piece of wood. And I connected with it with my heart. And I sent it love. And I said, I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to reconnect with you. Please reconnect with me. As I sent it love. And then after a few moments, I found myself getting up, going over to this big pile, and just stretching down and pushing some of these branches down, getting all the way down to the ground, and right there, picking something up. What do you think it was?
That piece of wood.
It was the piece of wood. I was brought right to it. I didn't even have to go digging for it. It was right there. Why was it right there? Because my consciousness had connected with it. I gave it to my son. I said, here it is. He goes, oh, wow, Mom. Cool. That's where we are going. most of you, how many people have been in that moment of where you are so totally connected? Yes. Could be through art, singing, yoga, dance. I'm sure when Arvel gets to, and he puts his instrument up to his mouth, his pipe, when he puts that up to his mouth, it doesn't come from his head. The music comes out of his heart. Okay? That's the consciousness that we are developing on a daily basis right now. And in between developing that consciousness, we are seeing where we are. We're seeing it in our body, we're seeing it in our minds, and it drifts in and out. And we get to make choices. We get to make choices about which of those thoughts we keep. Okay? We can just say, hey, that's not my thought. Goodbye. I don't want you. Okay? But we need to recognize that that was a thought that we might have had at one time. So how many of you would like to go through a little experiment to see where your consciousness is right now? Okay? I'll take you through that. And I'm going to show you in a hand gesture how to bring yourself back to center no matter where you are. Okay? It's a very simple thing because you're going to be taking both your hands, you're going to be gathering your energy, and you're going to be bringing both hands down into the middle of your heart as you bring your attention down into your heart, and then send that energy down and connect you to the earth. So I'd like you to do that now. Just close your eyes, take both arms, swing them around, gathering that energy, bringing it down into your heart space. And breathing deeply. And centering yourself inside. And then I want you to think about something you want. Something you would like to have. Could be a car. Only for you, not for the world. For you. For you in your physical form at this moment, at this time. Something you would like to have. Could be health. It could be a new home. It could be a new car. It could be a new job. It could be more money. Whatever it is you need in this physical world to sustain and be who you are in the physical form. I want you to think of that and hold that vision and place it in front of you. Visualize that in front of you right now. And then I want you to step into that. Be with it. If it's a car, you're in the car and you're driving it. And I want you to make note of how you feel. If it's money, you have it and you know what to do. If it's a new job, you have it and how do you feel? I want you to make note of how you feel in that moment of having that which you desire. And breathe deeply. And then I want you to bring your awareness back to this room. Shake it off. And come back to the room. How many people had a thought that they would like to share? Just one word, one or two words. Word. You can yell them out.
Near home.
Near home. Beautiful. Yes?
The Prize Patrol.
Okay. Anybody else?
Peace.
Peace. I am.
Radiant.
Radiant.
Help.
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 Health. Yes?
Ability to play flute.
Ah, beautiful. Did anybody have like, oh no, I don't think I can do that. Oh, I don't think I can have that. Oh, it doesn't feel right. I'm really going to have to adjust to this. Did anybody have any of those feelings come up when they do something like this? Nobody?
No.
Yeah. That's your consciousness right there. And it's your consciousness that holds you from having it.
Negative side.
Yes. Beautiful. That's what holds you back. And that's what is being displayed in your body, in your confusion, in your emotions, and everything else that's going on with the shift. Okay? You're getting to see like the owl You're getting to see that all of these things that you have experienced in your life are happening for you to be able to see more clearly where your consciousness lies. And when you know where your consciousness lies, you become more conscious. And you have elevated your consciousness because now you know, oh, I don't know if I really think I should be driving a Lexus if I'm spiritual. What will they think? It's not good enough. I can't have that. Okay? A lot of people can think that. But that's being aware of that consciousness. You just elevated yourself. That's beautiful. So you get to know where you are. And that's the shift. The shift is showing everybody where they are. And so all of these things that are happening to you are happening for you to find that nourishment in the middle of it. In the middle of the darkness, to find the nourishment. To find that place that you can be the magnificent person you are. And so you're learning, we're all learning, constantly, how do we use our energetic awareness and our consciousness to work through what we're going through in the physical world? Well, we have to come from a different point, just like I did with that piece of wood. Now, granted, I was in the middle of the woods. Now, I was not in the middle of an angry crowd. I was in the middle of the woods. The forest holds a beautiful frequency that supports your consciousness. We don't always get to do that, okay? Because that's not a challenge, as much as it is to be in the world. See, you're all lighthouses, okay? And a lighthouse is not put in the middle of a pond, in the middle of a golf course. It's not needed there. So all of you are going to have these challenges. You're going to have people come up and say, oh, but da-da-da-da. And you're going to say, oh, but I know what I'm doing. You're going to be challenged because that will strengthen you. And it will give you an awareness of where your consciousness is. And that's what the shift is about. Totally about consciousness. You growing into the consciousness of your divine being within this physical world. And that you can meet and have a relationship with the energy of this planet, of this world, of anything that is physical on this planet is energy. And you are being taught how to use your consciousness to play that dance with the physical energy around you. How many people speak to their house? Okay, I speak to my house all the time. I tell it how much I love it, okay? And if I have a problem with my house, I say, show me how to do this. How am I going to fix this? How am I going to take care of this? When I was in New York, when I was selling my house in New York, I asked my house to find me a house. And it did. It found me a rental I had to have before I moved here. And my daughter, when she walked into that room, that house, she said, oh my goodness, Mom, this feels just like our house. Okay? Confirmation. That energy found it. How many people ask their car to keep them safe? Yeah, because it's going to give you what you ask. If you ask with love. Love is the power. Because do you know that your feelings ignite every thought that you have in your mind? So, you know, you hear those people that go over and over again a problem, right? And then they wonder why it doesn't get solved. Because they keep talking about the problem, and they don't go into, like the owl, seeing, where's the nurturing piece in this? How do I get to fix this by having a communication with the energy of the problem? Okay? It's a different place of seeing. It's like being in a walking meditation at all times. Okay? There's a lot of people who have come onto the earth with a lot of their different sayings that have given us a way to navigate this world at this time. Okay? And one of them is, I can find it now. Okay. with Einstein when he said that you can find your answers on a different level than what they were created. Okay? By Gandhi, be that which you wish to see in the world. So I'd like you to close your eyes and center yourself, bringing your arms up over your head, bringing them down into your heart space, and drawing yourself inside to feel, to envision this beautiful song as the waves start moving over you. Dear cellular structure, I choose to have the attributes, gifts, and talents that I have earned in what I call my past that will enhance the ability for me to live my current life with more ease and grace. I choose to recall those things, attributes, gifts, and talents that will allow me to live longer in health and prosperity, do my work better, and give me peace over the things I desire to do. I mine the Akash for this, which is my personal DNA. Cellular structure. I choose to have the attributes, gifts, and talents that I have earned in what I call my past that will enhance the ability for me to live my current life with more ease and grace. I choose to recall those things, attributes, gifts, and talents that will allow me to live longer in health and prosperity, do my work better, and give me peace over the things I desire to do. I mine the Akash for this, which is my personal DNA. That's the power. Thank you. Namaste.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Who's blessed in here today? That's right. That's exactly it. Love. The light of love surrounds